All right, we are back. Lisa Waters Lane comes back. This is her segment. I try not to talk and then try to get her to talk. Between the two of us, we fill out a 10-minute segment that's just all about what do you see, what's going on, what's new, what tickles your garden fancy. So Lisa, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you.
So
Good to be back.
how's the how are the gardens looking? Are they all turning all colorful and bright, or
you're definitely seeing the change?
Yeah.
Especially this week. You're
Yeah.
really starting to see the maples, Virginia creeper, burning bush, all that stuff is starting to turn or already turned.
Yeah.
So you can tell fall is here.
some things are getting done. So
Yeah.
you had the sumacs, or they've got a few leaves. Some of the
Right.
Virginia creepers, they've got a few leaves, depending on where they are or
Mhm.
where they were, what the cycle was. But the next windstorm
They're
will
gone.
will blow off all the if it's a good fall colored plant, it drops all its leaves at once. So it's easier to clean up.
Oh, yeah.
It's things like sycamores, they go from gold to brown to
My goodness.
right. It's like January, they still have leaves on, they're still dropping.
Right.
So you kind of go, well, that's maybe not the most ideal autumn colored tree, but they're pretty, they're big and fast growing. So
Yeah, a lot of the aspens have their real pretty gold color to them right now. So yeah, things are pretty out there. So if you don't have any fall color stuff in your yard,
sacrilege, what?
you need to get some.
Yeah.
So we did get in some Cole's compact burning bush
Oh,
and
nice.
dwarf burning bush. A little bit of the dwarf burning bush has a little bit bigger leaf to it. The Cole's compact has a smaller leaf to it, but the plants themselves get 4x4, 4x5,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. And they're the ones they haven't quite. I've been kind of looking at them around town. They're starting to turn, but
the
when
tops.
they when they go into full color, I mean, it is a bright red, absolutely gorgeous color.
Yeah, like fire engine red. I mean, it's like a bright,
Right.
the brightest red at sunset. It's that color,
Yeah.
only brighter. I don't know. It's intense.
Beautiful
3D.
shrub. It's a beautiful shrub to mix into your landscape. I wouldn't do a whole hedge of them.
Well, that's a popular thing in the
necessarily.
Midwest. They'll actually make
Yeah.
hedges out of them.
Do they?
Yeah, because they're real thick. The barks,
Yeah.
even though if they lose their foliage, the branches are so tight
That's true.
that you can't get through it. It's like
Yeah.
a woody fence or something. But when the foliage is on, it's
Yeah.
just like a solid green mass. But you
Mhm.
get that red to
That
it.
red in the fall, and it stays on quite a while.
Yeah.
It's not gonna.
Another
It's
month.
not like the sumacs that kind of turn and then they drop. These keep their color on there for quite a
Yeah.
long time. So very, very pretty. We also got some Oregon grape holly in. I don't know
Nice.
why this year has been nobody's had it.
It's a slow grower.
Yeah.
I talked to the vendor about the
Oh.
grower up in Oregon, Jonathan. He's the
Yeah.
head of Monrovia. He runs all their farms. He said it's a slower growing. All the slow growing crops, they ran out
Oh,
and they couldn't plug fast. So
Fast
the COVID thing it just blew through all the crops.
gotcha.
They were planting 5 years out, and they sold them all in 2 years. So there's this like 18-month
lag
window
time.
where they couldn't plant enough. So now they're
Okay.
finally starting to catch up.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of interesting crop rotations.
Mhm.
These
Well, that makes
plants,
sense. But
they
it's
take a while.
It's a really pretty fall. It's an evergreen,
Yeah.
so it's going to keep its leaves year round. But it gets that real pretty orangey yellow red.
Yeah.
It's a very attractive shrub
When
fall
it's
color.
in the sun.
Yeah.
More shaded, it'll be more green, but it's a true native. So when you're
Right.
walking through the Bradshaws, the Mingus Mountains,
Mhm.
you'll see a creeping Mahonia or creeping Oregon grape. Has a holly leaf.
Mhm.
It has some red berries to it. Can have some yellow flowers in spring. That's it. So you can also grow it in a couple other shrub forms.
Mhm.
But when it's in the sun, it turns a bright red or kind of orangey red. When it's in the shade, kind of just says,
Just real
"I'll
green."
be green."
That's true of the Nandinas
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
The heavenly bamboos, Gulf streams.
Yeah.
The more sun they get, the more red they get in the
Yeah.
wintertime.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very nice. Now for the Californians, you got to name it the right way so they understand. That's heavenly bamboo. So for them, everyone else is Nandina. So it has several names across
It
the
does.
country.
Yeah.
So,
But it's not a true bamboo.
It's not a true bamboo. That's why horticulturalists call it a Nandina. Yep.
We also got in some simply gorgeous flame maples
Oh, nice.
in a big bucket. They're big multi-trunked.
Oh, unusual.
Very,
Yeah.
very pretty and nice because I mean they give you that really pretty fall color, but they don't get 30 feet tall
Yeah.
like the autumn blaze or some
Yeah.
of your other red maples. They get about what 15, 18, under
Yeah.
20.
For those folks that want to plant Japanese maples, those struggle here. They
Mhm.
don't like wind and they don't like sun.
Right.
Our wind and our sun and our water. They don't like growing here. You can get them to grow, but Japanese maples are not happy here. The flame maple or Amur maple, it goes by two names.
Mhm.
Those are a small leaf maple, grows the same size, about mid-teens, but it loves the sun. It
Right.
loves wind.
Mhm.
It loves everything about Arizona and the mountains.
Mhm.
And it's still a small leafed maple. It's by far a better choice.
Yeah.
Why more folks don't know about it, just because they've come from areas where it's Japanese maple country. That's all I know. But there's better choices up here in the mountains of Arizona.
Yeah. Well, these are beautiful. They're stunning. They would be an almost mature tree. That
Yeah,
you
they
could
were
put in.
huge. They were just instantaneous. Yeah.
Very, very nice. So some of the other things that we want to we got in that I just want to mention because timing is everything, right?
Yeah.
So we got some hellebores in.
Hellebores,
So-
they're way early. That's
I
super
know.
nice. Wow.
So usually we can't get so hellebores is a evergreen perennial, loves the shade, but it blooms usually late winter, early spring.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful plant if you have the right spot for it. But usually by the time spring rolls around, you can't find
Yeah,
them.
that's right. They're all gone.
Right. So we brought in, they call it their Ice and Roses series. It's
Nice.
kind of a soft rose colored bloom on it. But yeah, got those in, which is really cool because usually you
Are
can't
they
find them.
heavily budded? Can you see the buds for this winter?
There's
So they're
one that's actually blooming.
Oh my God. It doesn't surprise. They're a winter bloomer.
Yeah.
They bloom in the winter. That's
Right.
why there's none left in spring,
Mhm.
because they bloomed out and everyone goes, oh, neat.
Right. And then
So
they look
camellias,
for-
they're companion plants with camellias, same way,
Definitely,
or
definitely.
heucheras, that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. The common name is Lenten rose.
Lenten
So hellebores
Yeah.
and Lenten rose. So
Mhm.
some of the old timers, they know it as Lenten
Right.
rose, and you hear it written up in
Mhm.
all the fancy magazines as hellebores.
Right. Right. So unusual to have those. So
Yeah.
definitely got to check those out. We still have some nice Virginia creeper in that hasn't turned yet.
Oh, really? You got another load. Good. We have more.
We have more.
They come here at this elevation
Right.
and they turn color and drop their
Drop
leaves.
their leaves. But these still are green. They're starting. I was looking at them this morning. They're starting to get they're starting to turn. So, but if you want to enjoy some of the fall color on there, you certainly can.
Virginia creepers. That's also why they're very fire-wise.
Mhm.
So they don't have a lot of burnable leaves
Right.
kind of stuff. They stay low to the ground.
Mhm.
They have their heavy foliage when they have heavy moisture when they do have foliage.
Right.
And so they tend to suppress fires, or they burn very cool. So if you're up in the mountains, and it's a native, it just grows
Mhm.
wild out there, so it naturalizes so easily.
Right.
It's a great plant, and this is a good time to plant those.
Mhm. And we also still have a wonderful selection of fall mums in.
Yeah,
So if you're
a
still looking to
classic.
put your mums in to decorate for Halloween, we still have those. We have lots of pansies and violas, snapdragons, and they're just amazing little plants for the fall and winter here. And
Yeah.
you know, people come in, they go, "Well, what can bloom through the winter? Pansies, viola."
Do you have anything else?
No.
Dusty Miller doesn't.
Dusty
There's a
Miller.
few. There's a few
A
things.
few things, but they just do so well. And just kind of, even with snow landing on them, they go, yeah, I don't care.
I think they grow better here at this elevation, this 4 to 6,500 foot level. You know,
Mhm.
Groom Creek, Holland Pines, down to Cottonwood, Sedona, Camp Verde, and everything in between.
Mhm.
They grow better here than they do in the Midwest, where they freeze out, or in the desert where they burn out so fast.
Right.
Here they just keep
keep going.
blooming. People plant them at the wrong time. They plant them
Right.
in spring.
Mhm.
You should be planting each of those that you just mentioned
In the
now in the fall, because you
Right.
get more color,
Mhm.
more bang for your
Right.
garden trowel
Oh, definitely.
than you do otherwise.
Garden draw.
Yeah, just trying something new. Ken and Lisa Lane, the Mountain Gardeners. Thank you, Lisa, for
Mhm.
sharing with us. We'll be right back after this.